welcome back to Protect You Radio. It's another fun-filled week of firearms and fun and alcohol, tobacco. Oh, that's a different thing. Never mind. So anyways, and welcome back, Marian and Candy, my two people from the Well-Armed Woman Summit County chapter. And tonight's show is going to be a big piece of what goes on at these secret meetings they hold with a bunch of women and guns. It's terrifying.
All right. We love it.
So what I understand, there are chapters all over the state, right? I've got like Cincinnati, Clinton County, Columbus, Delaware. There's one right up here by me in Mentor. There's a tri-state. Mm-hmm. There's Worcester, Mount Vernon, North Cincinnati, because Cincinnati's so big they need a separate chapter in North Cincinnati. Sandusky, Middleport, Stark, Summit, and Utica. So with Stark and Summit being so close, there's enough people, enough interest for two different chapters?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Did he, not to make it a competition, but who's bigger? I bet Summit.
Right now, yes.
Because you two run it.
That's right.
And you got two women out on the street telling other women they need to be there because I have a gun and you should be there. Is that how that works?
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's some marketing right there.
It's also in states. I mean, believe we're in 49 states.
Is it really?
Yeah, and there's a little over, I think, 10,000 members.
That's impressive. So give me a overview. What exactly is Well-Armed Woman?
Well, it started with Carrie Lightfoot back in 2012, and the reason she did is because, she had gone through a divorce, and then she was seeing a guy after that, and she basically had some bad stuff happen and was looking for ways to protect herself. And she found that there wasn't much out there for women. So that's how she originally started the Well-Armed Woman. And it has grown since. If you go to the website, there is so much information. It's unbelievable. There's a mission that the Well-Armed Woman shooting chapters exist to educate, equip, and empower women in a safe and non-threatening environment for their effective and responsible self-defense with a firearm. And the vision is the Well-Armed Woman shooting chapters strive to make safe, high-quality firearm education, training, and resources available and enjoyable for all women, and that it's a national nonprofit organization with female volunteer leader instructors offering monthly meetings across the country focused on safety, firearms, and personal protection for women.
So you and Candy aren't making millions of dollars off of this? You're volunteers?
Afraid not.
I wish.
Yeah.
I just assumed you were both independently wealthy from doing this.
We should have come up with the gig.
Because there's so many firearms instructors and stuff who are making millions of dollars locally that, we've all retired already because we make so much, right?
That's it.
Yep.
So are there any special perks for joining the group?
There is.
They get us. Come on.
Yeah, they get
What
us.
more do you need?
Oh my God, you owe me a microphone. I was taking a drink of ginger ale and just blew it out my nose.
That was worth it.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's when I needed a bell.
They get us. What more can they want?
That is exactly.
Don't believe in yourself. How do you expect anybody else to?
I agree. And listen, after knowing you two for this short period of time, I agree. I would say that is a benefit and a blessing to get to spend time with both of you because you're both very patient human beings. You put up with me every week. And
that's very true.
I think that you two are probably a great benefit to anyone who's new to this and trying to learn about firearms. That's kind of cool. That they're not just relying on the website. They're having all the chapters where you can get hands-on contact. Yeah,
we wish we could, with the way things are right now, it's kind of difficult to do our thing like we want to. What people get, it's $50 a year. And
wait, you said a year, not a month?
A year.
Oh.
$50 a year. At our range we're at Pro Armament, there's no fee for them to shoot. We have on the Well-Armed Woman site, if they join, they do get a discount on stuff. There's a lot of women's holsters. Everything is geared to the woman. There's just a lot of information out there that Carrie's got, and there's products also for sale.
So they, and forgive me, this is a monthly meeting, correct? You said?
Correct. First Tuesday of the month.
And they don't have to pay. So you guys shoot every class or every meeting?
Heck yeah.
Yes.
So for $50 a year, you get to shoot at least once a month.
Yes.
Yep.
That is mind-boggling. That is,
Okay.
wow.
Okay, so you're seeing the picture that we want painted. For $50 a year, you are coming out and you are guaranteed to train at least once a month.
Correct.
For me to go to the range one time with somebody like my wife is probably $50 by the time we end up spending the time. So every time we go, so you can go out monthly, and listen, not many people are going out monthly to shoot. That is crazy good.
We
Yes,
think so.
it is.
Wow.
Plus they get us, and we're both NRA instructors, pistol. I'm a well-armed woman instructor.
Oh, so that is a separate certification that you guys can get through the organization?
Yes, it is.
Oh, very
Because
cool.
teaching women is different.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. And coming in from a guy who tries not to be like, hey, woman, listen to me. Because listen, I don't have a clue. Again, back to the whole pockets thing we discussed before. Not a clue. And yeah, for a guy to teach a female, it's tough. I'm not going to lie. I prefer to teach females because I think they learn better. They ask more questions and they don't make assumptions a lot of times. And they want to know, I'll call it the nitty gritty from what I've seen.
Yes.
Where guys are kind of like, yeah, me do. So,
I know
I've been doing this since I came out the womb. I don't need you, pal.
but I do wish there were more female instructors who would teach all female classes. I think we're missing that a little bit from what I've seen. So that's just me. And I think women coming into an all female class with a female instructor might appreciate that more, especially if they're newer, and especially if they've had a spouse or a brother, whoever they've grown up with, who has always been like, listen, little lady. So,
But they don't make it easy because, you've got to get insurance and.
No, anytime being an instructor, it's not easy, period. I know
and you got to get it set up as a business and all that.
Yeah, that does make it tough. Very cool.
Yep.
I love that this organization is running like this. That's great. And I just some of the stuff from the website I saw that, even if you're not at a weekly or a monthly meeting, just some of the videos are really impressive. This is good stuff. There's the whole survival series or survival stories. Mm-hmm. I think that alone, just to watch those stories, if you've had some situations in your past where you're like, man, I'm a little leery about this type of stuff, and go watch some of those stories. That alone, I think, would kick you into gear to go figure out why you need to carry a gun to be part of an organization like this.
That's right.
Did you guys have any of the videos you've seen that are kind of your favorites of the different topics? There's a bunch. Even
there is.
Yeah, right down to
it's, time.
How to conceal. Yeah, because we all have lots of time, right? I like the holster selection one. That's always cool.
I really like them because they make them so user-friendly, so to speak. Yeah. They're not like, Annie Oakley concealed carrying or anything. It's your typical Jane. I mean, never mind the fact she's gorgeous 9 times out of 10, but I feel that pretty much any woman could put herself in that situation and be like, you know what, I could do that, or I could see myself needing to do that, or man, how many times have I walked through a parking deck like that and not thought about it? Right. Or been on my phone and not thought about it, or rambling through my purse digging for my keys, not paying attention to what's going on. You know what I mean? So I think they make it extremely realistic. The website is just amazing. Yeah. My hat's off to them.
Yeah, I mean, it goes holster selection. I saw one on caliber choice. I mean, that's just something people don't really think through sometimes. They go to the gun store.
45!
Yeah.
Here, honey, have this pink pistol. And it's like,
I know, right? Oh my gosh. And it's so funny because it's either 45 or 22. And I'm like, guys, no.
Yeah.
No in between, huh?
No in between, for crying out loud.
I love they had the one video, dating and your gun.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that honestly, if you've got a guy who is not real secure in himself and he realizes you're carrying a gun, that might be the end of a relationship. And quite frankly, happy Mother's Day to him.
Oh, love it. Ouch.
Sorry.
Or that might be the clincher that he knows, hey, I better hold on to this, babe.
You know what? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's things you don't think, like I would never talk about that in a class. How do you even deal with that? I had not a clue. No, I wouldn't even think to teach that in a class, but jump online and watch a video. Great idea. Riding in a motorcycle with your gun. That a lot of people don't think through, but yeah, a lot of really cool stuff on there. One of my favorite ones, what to do when you have to go. And that doesn't mean just go outside. That means, hey, I got to go to the restroom. Now what? And that's a big one.
Cough.
Yeah.
Cough.
Listen, that's not something you think about sometimes until you're in the stall and you go, oh, now what?
Not putting my firearm there. It's like, no, I'm not.
and so many of those toilet roll things now are kind of rounded. They just slide off. I'm really bummed. And just kind of along those lines, as a side note, I was looking at an article that was on there, carry locations. So we've had some discussions. Lady, what are your favorite locations for carrying?
Well, I carry on my side.
4 o'clock type situation, 3-4 o'clock-ish?
Yep.
Candy, where are you carrying?
Wherever I feel like that particular day.
Yeah.
So you're not a
lot of times fairly consistent, more appendix, fairly consistent, but it really does. It depends on what I'm doing, what I'm wearing, because with the social distancing and stuff that's going on now, I do a lot of stuff at my church. And before all this COVID junk, church, you're hugging, you're close to people and all that. So on your side isn't always the best spot for that,
I learned that under scoop at church. I scoop under their arms and push
exactly, and you're just like, all righty then. So
which is
you
tough.
just have to be open. You have to be open and willing to shift it up if you need to. And where'd you put it today? Where is it?
Yeah, we got a few ladies in our
but
church.
I have mainly two places that I carry.
Oh, that's good, because I think a lot of people get into, I'm going to switch every day, and I think if they actually had to draw the gun under stress, they'd forget where they put it that day.
Pretty much.
So, kind of along those lines, there was an article on well-armed woman that I saw, and just kind of a side note, the different locations. So 42% inside the waistband was the top position and way to carry, which I was really kind of surprised by, because inside the waistband has not been that popular for that long. So it's pretty cool. And I think that's probably not easy with women's clothing, maybe, ?
As long as you wear a belt, it's not bad.
Okay.
And get the right holster.
Oh, look at you. Good belt and a good holster. Crazy.
Yeah.
I know. What a concept, right? Oh my gosh.
Well, I think I see. Well, I take that back. You see guys wearing Affliction T-shirts now, and a lot of the other stuff. I think women's clothing can be a little tighter sometimes. I think in a workplace I've seen. So yeah. I think that makes it even a little bit tougher. Belly bands were like the second most popular, which I was.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I just tinkered with one recently, and again, being built. Well, slightly different than a woman, not much.
I thought you were going to say the delicate flower you are.
Well, the longer I stay home with COVID and eat, I'm beginning to be built more with man boobs than anything. So I'm beginning to understand how women can dress and have to dress around their firearms. So it's okay. 14% were still doing can still carry purse. 7% were doing shoulder or underarm, which that surprised me a little bit. I guess if you got into what the Under Armour clothes, maybe that leads to that. I don't know that I've ever met a female that carries either shoulder holster or under the arm.
I'm not one of them. Not happening, dude.
Me neither.
There's way too much woman to be reaching around trying to get to something under my arm. No, it's not happening. Unless I'm itching, I am not reaching under my arm for anything. Thank you very much.
Too much woman. That's awesome. I love it.
It's like, nah, I'm a real size woman and real situation.
So again, this goes. That's a great point, Candy, because this is a thing. If you're a guy instructor, not something you think about. I remember the first time I taught a female to shoot from a compressed position, And she looked at me like, John, what, I can't do that. I was like, what are you talking about? You can't do that. And I'm thinking she's like questioning herself as far as her physical skill. And she's like, no, I'm built differently than you. I'm like, oh my God, didn't even cross my mind that, oh, gee, that slide would be impeded completely different than, see, again, this is why I want more female instructors out there teaching females.
We have a bit more real estate in other places than you.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
That's awesome. And then 1% of the people surveyed in this article were ankle carry. So that's all on well-armed women. So it's nice that they analyze that and break it down and for women to kind of take a peek at it and figure out, hey, what works best for me based on what other women are doing. That's really cool. So I like it. So how do you get involved with Well-Armed Women?
Well, for me, it was I had belonged to the Stark County chapter with Sue Brenner, and women, I was looking for a place to go with women and learn from women. All of a sudden, when I was searching one day, after I'd already joined Well-Armed Women, I mean, it had been a couple years, I ran across, they were opening a new chapter in Cuyahoga Falls. So I went up there. Ashley Cardian was the leader. We had a few meetings, and then she moved to Florida. I ended up with it.
You didn't show up for a meeting and they voted you in? Is that how that worked?
No, that was pretty much, I said I'd do it. That's how it came apart. Next month we have a birthday, but I didn't have a chance today to find out how many years it is.
Oh, for the organization itself or just for your chapter?
No, for our chapter.
Oh, very nice.
We usually do a cake and have a little party.
Oh, how fun. So if you're not a member and you come to the first meeting, so free to attend the first meeting, or do they have to pay for the range time? How's that work?
They can come for the first meeting. They can come and watch us shoot, but they cannot shoot because they're not a member yet and they're not in our group insurance.
Oh, so as part of that fee, you get covered as part of the insurance. That's cool.
Yes.
So there's the fee, and it covers your range time, it covers insurance. And then you guys do a lot of different topics, right? It's not just, hey, let's show up and shoot.
Right.
What are some of the other things you guys cover?
Oh, cleaning guns,
gun cleaning, first aid, trauma, personal security, self-defense, being awareness, personal awareness. We really cover all aspects of it. And it's really, really important that we get the women to understand that there is so much more to carrying a firearm than just carrying a firearm. There's of course, a whole new world that goes along with that.
Of course, drilling into them the safety rules.
Now, do you guys, so that's along those topics, and this is a little bit of a sidetrack, surprise, with the ADD kid. So safety rules. Now, I'm an NRA instructor, and we follow the 3 safety rules. There are other sets of rules you hear out there, like the 4 rules. What are the 3 rules? Or do you guys go by the 3 rules? What safety rules do you use?
Actually, we go by the 4 safety rules.
Right.
we do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Very good. Yeah. I'm always amazed at how many different sets of rules you can come up with in this industry. It's like, wait a minute, whose set of rules are you using? So if you're brand new to shooting, this is probably a good organization to get involved with, or is it more geared at people who kind of have some experience?
Nope. Brand new would be perfect. We actually really like it that way.
Yeah, we'll get them started. They don't have any bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice. So what about someone who has a little more experience? How do you keep their attention?
Drill.
Yeah.
What was that?
Drills.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So on the shooting part, do you kind of leave them go? Do you guys have a set of drills you're doing each time?
Nope. It changes all the time.
Yeah, it depends.
It all depends on how much fun we want to have that night.
Yeah. How much work we want to do.
Pretty much.
Okay. So they don't know ahead of time kind of what's going on. They show up and you guys have a set of things for them and ready to go, huh?
Pretty much.
Right. As far as shooting, for the meeting, if we've got something going on, we let them know what that is. If it's cleaning guns, or so they bring their stuff that they need.
Oh, okay. It's not a big surprise.
But for the shooting, we like to keep it open
Right.
because you never know what kind of situation you're going to be in. We don't want them coming in anticipating, okay, we're going to start at 3 yards, and then we're going to move to 5, and then we're going to move to 7, and then we're going to move to 10, just like we do every month, blah, 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 because then you get complacent, you get lazy, you lose your focus because we do this all the time. So we swap it up all the time. We try and do something new. Typically, we start out with the basics just to get everybody back into it, because for a lot of ladies, this is the only time they're shooting. This once a month is the only time they're shooting. So we need to get them, doing that 8-inch circle out at 5 yards, start with the simple stuff and then work from there.
Oh my God, why such a small target?
I know, right? Aim small, miss small.
Accuracy by volume. So is there an age limit for the group?
For Ohio, it's 21. There are some states that it's 18.
Is that chapter
I thought you were talking a top age. I was like, as long as you can rack the slide, come on in.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you know what? There may be a top end. Who knows? If somebody's having, some type of dementia problem, you probably don't want them on the range with you. So.
Well, we did have one person. She shot very well, and she just kind of dropped off, and she was up there.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. She's an excellent shot.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping she hasn't dropped off. I hope she's just being a little cautious because of the current situation, but she's amazing. I mean, that babe, my goodness, she is up there, and I would not want to tangle with her in a dark alley with a bad attitude.
No.
She's awesome.
Yeah, you know what? That is a great equalizer. A gun for any female or any person who might not be of a smaller guy, not very strong. That is an equalizer. A 300-pound biker type dude that's, and a female, that's a serious equalizer for people who are getting older, whether you be male or female. So I don't think people think through that all the time.
Correct.
I have a story.
Oh, I like stories.
A friend of mine, her father, he's starting to get up there and getting a little dementia. And Saturday night, I don't know if he was going to clean his gun or what he was going to do. But, of course, he racked it and got the bullets out of the, took the slide out. Or not the slide, but the mag out. Didn't check the gun. He had one in the chamber. And he shot a hole in his foot.
Oh, no.
Yes.
How's he doing? Any idea?
He's doing okay. But that just proves that you cannot be too safe. I think they've taken all the guns out of the house right now.
Wow. So do they think it was a dementia thing and not just a slip of the moment type?
Kind of both, I think.
Because listen, I've seen people much younger than that make that mistake. So it's not.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a combination.
Yeah. I ran into one recently that a person was court ordered to take a class because they ended up being drunk and put one through their floor with a 45, and it went down through them, busted a bunch of pipes into another apartment, and yikes.
Oh, wow.
Yikes. Got to be careful.
Yep.
So you touched on some other skills that people are picking up at class. Is there one that's been maybe a more popular one that you found? I think I heard you guys did a first aid class at one point. Was that right?
Yeah, that was cool. That was way cool. Yes.
Do those go over well? Or do people more like, hey, I want to shoot. Let's forget this stuff?
No, they actually go over quite well.
Yeah. I want to set up to stop the bleed, and I was going to do that. But with all this going on, we've had to delay it.
So hopefully they can get that together. And now, are you guys certified in Stop the Bleed, or you bring in somebody for that?
I am certified in it, though.
Oh, you are? I didn't know that.
I am, but hey, I don't have all the bells and whistles that what's his name does. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
So how did, kind of along this lines, how did both you get into shooting?
I live in inner city Akron, and I have 12 kids, 7 beautiful daughters. Enough said.
And that made it happen, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Love it.
My husband was always in it, and when they first came out with the concealed carry for Ohio, he wanted to get his, and I was kind of like, you better get yours too.
So I take it you both would feel like this would have been probably a good program for you to get started?
Yes.
Would it have made it easier for you, I guess?
Yes, absolutely.
So there were some testimonials on the website, and I thought I had them in front of me, and I don't. Have you guys seen some of those? And are you kind of getting that type of feedback? Like, what's some of the feedback you get from people that are first timers?
They're very thankful for us because many of them feel intimidated by men. They feel intimidated. They feel like the men are going to embarrass them, make fun of them, second guess their firearm choices, second guess their pretty much everything. And with us, there's totally a non-judgmental attitude. We meet you where you are. You know, if you are brand spanking new, fantastic. If you've been shooting for 20 years, fantastic. You can share some of the stuff you know with us, you know?
Oh, nice.
But,
great.
Yeah, we meet you where you are.
They're much more relaxed.
So kind of along those lines, kind of meeting you where you are and sharing, you know, maybe what you know as somebody who has some experience. Are you guys involved in other organizations? Because I think sometimes we in the shooting community get kind of pigeonholed into, hey, you're a gun person and that's all you do is you shoot, and you Second Amendment people, that's all you do.
I know.
So you are involved in other stuff, or this is it?
Well, Candy's involved with much more than me. I mean, I belong to Ohio Buckeye Firearms. I belong to NRA, of course, the Well-Armed Woman. I'm starting to get involved with the DC project.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's cool.
Ohio, with Amanda, and also the Second Amendment.
Very cool. I saw Amanda put a call out for the Ohio, the DC project. That's good to hear people are jumping in on that. All right, what do you see as the biggest challenge of introducing new shooters to the sport or to the industry or to just self-defense in general, I guess?
Getting out of their own heads.
Yeah.
Oh, how so?
Honestly. A lot of women, a lot of the ones we see, oh, that's too big of a gun for you. Oh, you picked the wrong gun. Oh, you picked the wrong ammo. Oh, you picked the wrong holster. Oh, you picked the wrong case. Oh, you did the wrong everything. And they come in with this, they're shy, they're timid and everything because they've already been battered with everything you've done up to this point is wrong. Oh. And I know I personally run into that a lot. Like, I will correct a woman who's shooting on the line and, you notice you're dropping low left. Yeah, my husband told me I need to stop this and this and this and this and stop smacking that and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, great. That just made my job so much harder because they've already come in with all this judgment on them, or I like this gun, but my husband says it's junk. So even though I like it and I shoot it really well, my brother says it's a piece of crap because he doesn't like it. I can't stand that. It drives me up the wall.
I think we found a topic for our next show. Hey, dudes, don't do this.
Yes, don't do this to these women. Don't do that.
Wow. Right. Maybe we could do a top 10 next show with the stuff you guys have run into of, hey, dudes, don't do this when you're trying to teach people to shoot, especially females. Wow. That's really interesting to hear. Again, things guys don't think of.
Number one would definitely be, please leave your 5.56 at home. When we're in the inside range, leave your 5.56 at home. We're not impressed. That's not the place to compensate for your manhood. We don't need that.
Easy
Stop
now.
That.
Easy
it drives me insane.
So I carry that 45-70 pistol.
Oh.
Have you guys seen that video of me shooting that thing? Oh, just go to Ohio PPT on YouTube, and I think I broke my hip when I shot it. Not a good beginner gun.
Wait, what's the address again? Because I'm totally going there. What was it again?
Ohio PPT. Yeah, just if you're in YouTube at some point, just type in Ohio PPT and my YouTube site will come up and you'll laugh. And you'll see all these. So I've been putting these up on YouTube so you can listen to yourself. So firearm selection for women. Is there a top 5? Is there, what do you base it on? Because I guarantee, right? I could be wrong here. You get the question, what's the best gun for me?
Yep. All the time.
And how do you answer it?
The one that you can shoot well, that you're comfortable with, and that you can afford.
What? You mean you can put price in there and get a normal price and not have to spend $900 for a gun?
Pretty much, yes.
What?
I know, big shakaroony.
That's crazy talk. Because all these gun guys tell me that, I've got to carry.
You got to spend $1,000, dude. Yeah, it's Kimber all the way.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not that impressed with Kimber anymore.
I hate Kimbers. I absolutely can't stand Kimbers.
I don't hate, but it's.
I do. It's a harsh 4-letter word. I can't stand them.
Marian, are you? Yeah, I thought you had. I thought you owned a couple.
I'm sorry, Marian. Out of all your guns, I won't borrow those. How about that?
Any other gun she'll borrow, but not those.
Yeah, not those.
I mean, they have nice triggers. There's no question about it. I've had more problems with them being finicky on if they even get a little dirty. They don't seem to. They're fine precision machines, and I'm not a fine precision guy.
They're prima donna firearm, and if you're gonna keep them pristine and all that, they're beautiful and perfect. But no, I'm not a prima donna girl. I guess you could put it that way.
And Marian, your thought on that?
No, she's hit it right on the head.
I was gonna give you a chance to fight back a little bit, but look at you. Look at you.
The one I like, the one is okay. So.
They are pretty.
Oh, they're very beautiful. They're beautiful firearms.
I'd almost hold back from pistol whipping somebody because they're so pretty.
Almost.
I'd hit them with my Glock and then show them the Kimber. Hit him with the Glock and point the Kimber at him. That's not a bad idea.
Tell me it's pretty.
Start carrying 2 guns now. Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Now, the most comfortable for me is my AR. I'm not going to lie. I love shooting my AR.
Yep.
Oh, look at you guys getting all crazy. Do you guys cover ARs in Well-Armed Woman at all, or is it strictly pistols?
We have before, and we will again, but it's one of those, we have so many that are either newbies or not too frequent or intimidated by firearms, and you bring out this big, scary-looking assault rifle, and then people start getting nervous, so we have to work the ladies up to that. But the last time we did it, we did have a lot of fun.
Yes,
so you kind of introed it and then actually went out and shot on the range with it?
Yep. Didn't Leslie bring her Scorpion that one?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
I'm going to do a whole show on pistol caliber carbines with you guys, or at least a big chunk of a show. I think it'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, there's this lady in our group named Leslie. She's so cool. She's awesome.
I love it. So besides firearms, what do you suggest people who are getting into shooting, other support gear? What do you suggest for them? Females especially.
First aid training.
Oh, so that's even beyond what most people think about for support gear.
Yep, because if you're going to put the holes in them, number one, legally you're responsible to try to help plug those holes up. Secondly, what if someone, oh my gosh, puts a hole in you? You need to be able to take care of yourself until first responders can get to you. You are your own first responder. You need to know what to do.
Nice. I like it. Good stuff. Yeah, again, shooting industry, most people don't think about that side of it.
Right.
It's, hey, I've learned to shoot and I'm going to put holes in. God forbid you get holes put in you because, hey, guess what? That might actually happen. Crazy concept.
No, it will not.
Right. We are ninjas.
I know, right? We do that whole Neo thing where you lean backwards and watch them go over your head.
So what else support-wise? Belts, holsters, things like that? Do you guys get into that in the meetings?
We do.
Yeah. I mean, they need to buy, we try to enforce, they buy good equipment.
Right.
And do they, actually, now that I think about it, do they sell certain brands of holsters and stuff through Well-Armed Woman? Is there something that like nationally they suggest, or is it a variety of stuff? Yeah,
they suggest holsters, and they've got a couple good belts. I bought one, and I love it. It's it's preference, but before they get a holster, first they got to learn how to shoot.
So you can come to
a lot of our ladies right now, I would say, don't have a holster, and they do not carry. We have some that don't have their CCW yet. They don't have the confidence yet. So it's a mixed bag, I would say. Wouldn't you, Candy?
Yes, very much so. I would agree with that. We have some who do carry in holsters and they're extremely comfortable with it, but they are definitely the minority at this point. It's a good mix. It really is. It's a good mix.
Now, have you at any of the meetings gone as far as, listen, this is something, gun, gear, you absolutely should not do, or yes, this is it, this is what you want to be doing?
I think the only thing we've said absolutely no to, just for safety's sake, are Serpas. I think, but I'm going to share something with you. I have Serpa holsters, and I love my Serpas. I can't use them anywhere, but I absolutely love my Serpa. It was the first holster I had when I first started shooting, because I've only been shooting about 3 years. So it was the first holster I used, and I absolutely love my Serpa, but, you know, for obvious reasons, I can't use it. And I do agree with that. I do agree with it.
I think it was a first holster for a lot of people.
But to me, you know, a big issue still is training. You know,
Right.
it's you're going to do under stress what you do when you train.
Right.
And when I trained with that holster, the gentleman who introduced it to me took a long time showing me how to properly use that holster.
It takes work.
It does. And he was teaching me how to not respond incorrectly under stress, blah, blah, blah. You know, he would put me in stressful situations where I had to draw from that Serpa, making sure that my trigger finger never touched that trigger until I was ready for it to.
Yeah, so people who aren't familiar with Serpas, there were a few accidents where people were getting their finger on the trigger coming out of the holster due to the release mechanism. But if you train with it, like Candy is talking about, it's not an issue.
It really isn't. I mean, it is not. And there are a lot of hardcore law enforcement guys in particular who swear by their Serpas. They won't give them up. They love their Serpas.
The other issue I saw with Serpas, and we've run into this in some classes, is if you end up on the ground and stuff and they get dirty, there are possibilities of getting dirt behind the mechanism and it locks the gun up and you can't get it out. But, you know, hopefully most of us don't end up on the ground in the desert fighting.
I was about to be really snarky and say, well, there's a simple solution to that. Don't end up on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, well, out of sheer clumsiness, I'd probably fall down, but it's a whole other story.
John, get off the ground, man. You got dirt in your Serpa.
Yeah, I would fall into a mud pit and then roll up into some sand, and yeah, that would be me.
Yep, and Marian and I would look at you and go, yep, that's John.
Yep.
Here he goes again.
I know, walk the other way, our delicate muddy flower.
So we've touched on this a little bit, but what tips would you give to guys who are trying to be instructors, especially with the females in the class?
Please be patient. Please be kind. That's not one of your drinking buddies. It's not one of your shooting buddies. Chances are good that that young lady is already intimidated. You screaming and hollering at her, forcing her hands on the firearm, telling her everything she's doing is wrong, is not helping her, it's hindering her. Chances are very good that if you treat her like that, she will never step foot on a range again.
I think you hit on a point there, Candy, that a lot of guys, it would never cross their minds is, if I'm in a room with a bunch of guys who I've kind of started to take, you know, even first time we meet in a class, there might be some sarcasm thrown back and forth, as in, oh, look at you with that little girly gun, things like that. That if you do to a female who's new, am I off track on this? Do you feel that this would throw off?
You are spot on.
Yep.
Okay. Absolutely spot on. I'll give you an example. For me, I went to a class and I actually have a 365 that I got painted purple. So it's the Well-Armed Woman purple. It's gorgeous.
Oh, nice.
And people, specifically guys, will see me on the range with that purple gun and they will start throwing the snark, you know? And one time they were throwing the snark and I had a drill to do and I went and I did that drill and I did that puppy clean. And by the time I was done with that drill, oh my goodness, there was no more snark. And it was really cool because the instructor said, now, you guys are over here laughing at this little purple gun, but I guarantee you when you go to St. Peter, the last thing you want to say is I was taken down by a chick with a purple gun. Okay.
That's great. I love it. It's nothing worse than shooting yourself with your own gun or getting shot by somebody with a pink gun.
Pretty much, yes. Either a pink or a purple gun. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. I love it.
You know what's funny though? I actually had somebody ask me, why did I have a purple gun? And there is a legitimate reason why. It is because when I'm training, I figured out that I am a dark skin. I have darker skin. And when I have a black firearm, you cannot see where my finger is when I'm demoing with a black firearm. So I made it purple.
Self-aware. Nice.
Exactly. I made it purple. So it doesn't matter who is demoing with my firearm. You can see exactly where their finger is. Well away from the trigger, well out of the trigger guard, high on the slide.
That's impressive.
So I actually took that extra step because it was one of my kids who told me that. They're like, Mom, no offense, but I can't tell where your finger is on there because I was teaching them. And I'm like, you need to keep your finger high on the slide. And they're like, I can't see where your finger is. And it was just like, oh, and who'd have thunk it? You know, it's not like I'm standing there looking at my finger on this black gun. It didn't even cross my mind.
Wow.
So, there you go.
That's a great, I mean, and most people probably never cross their mind.
It never crosses their mind.
Huh. Look at you guys go. I love it.
I know, right? We are creative. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's great. Good. So guys, and I'm going to put this right in the show notes is, hey dudes, listen to this thing and get some tips on how to and not to teach. And kind of along those lines, should husbands, dads, partners be teaching their spouses, partners, daughters? 9
times out of 10, absolutely not.
What if you guys run into?
All the time.
Oh yeah.
All the time. And it's so brutal. It actually breaks the heart because you just see that woman's confidence just being destroyed by someone who loves her. I mean, he truly means well. He truly thinks he's helping her. But we do not take, like you said, the sarcasm or the joking or the, could you have shot that any worse? We don't take it like men do. And that mess hurts. It hurts.
Yep.
We're already in an area that chances are good we're not familiar and not comfortable. And then you're going to make fun of us. Mm. It's the equivalent of, do these pants make my butt look big? Oh my gosh, don't say yes. You know, it's like I'm already self-conscious if I'm asking you that question. Don't say yes. Don't do that.
Yeah, and guys are just, yeah, of course. What?
Yeah, it does. Makes it look huge. What's wrong with it? And it's like, and then they wonder why you're in tears in the corner.
God, we are dumb.
Yeah, you are, but we love you anyway.
We are thick.
That's a good word for it.
We are just thick-headed. So that, you know, I had a conversation with a 23-year-old female, and kind of along the lines of training and you know what to do and how to get involved. She said she doesn't get more involved with it because she just doesn't know where to find the resources and you know how do you get that information. And an organization like this, the Well-Armed Woman, is what a great way, and what a I wish they would do something with high school and college age kids where it's like, hey, here's some resources, you know, firearm safety, but God forbid. So where would you suggest people go, women go for additional training beyond, you know, once you get into Well-Armed Woman? I would assume there's some good resources outside of the organization that you would suggest.
Yes, we would. And every woman that comes to one of our trainings and joins up with us, we'll tell her exactly where she can go.
Yep. So there's a tip. We can get you sucked in.
Pretty much.
This is like the stay tuned after this commercial.
I know, exactly. And for 1 hour only.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. I like it. I like it.
That's why I bum rushed my way into that one before you could say anything. It's like, we're not telling you nothing. You got to come and find out for yourself.
Well done.
You know, it was funny. I remember one class I went to, and it was a pretty intricate class. So I recorded parts of what the instructor was doing. And the instructor came up to me later and he was like, it's okay that you recorded me, but I don't want to see this on YouTube or anything like that. And I looked at him and I went, dude, if I had to pay for this class, what on earth makes you think I'm gonna give it to the world for free? What's wrong with you?
A lot of people do it though. They don't think through it. They just go, I was at this class and look at this awesome information.
No. If you want to know what I learned, you need to pay what I paid.
Yeah.
And that makes the well-armed woman an even bigger value, so to speak. I mean, where else can you go for $50 a year? Like you said, not even a month, a year.
That blew me. I had to read. I was like, did they say a year? And
yep.
Yeah.
We said a year. That's it.
Yep.
And
that's literally one range trip.
Yep. And what we have, we are willing to pour into you everything we have, and what we don't know, we can find out for you. We'll bring it in. We bring in instructors and trainers all the time.
Or like I do in my classes, just make stuff up.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work too.
We had Amanda come one night.
Oh, nice.
That was fun.
Yeah,
did she teach for you guys, or did she just kind of attend?
She talked through one of our meetings, and then we had a lot of people that night. She helped us with people too, because we didn't have enough hands.
Oh, nice.
She helped us out.
Yeah, that was fun.
Gotta love her and Rob. They were always willing to be hands-on and help out. I love those guys. They're awesome.
Yep.
Good stuff. So here's a question, and kind of along training: is a gun enough, or is it the only answer? Is it? What's your thoughts on that?
I'll let Marian go since I've been running my mouth too much.
I think you should have other options. Of course, your gun, but usually a knife. And of course, there's always things available around you, like your phone, your cell phone, or, depending on where you're at. But at least a knife, if you have a flashlight, that could be a good weapon, a small tactical flashlight. So it shouldn't just be confined strictly to your gun, because it depends on the situation you're in. You might be able to get to your knife quicker than your gun, depending on the situation.
Marian, can I just say you made me openly weep right there when you said anything around you.
I know, right? Now,
it's their game.
I completely agree with everything that Marian said, and the only thing I would add to that is being aware in the first place and avoid the situation in the first place.
Awareness is a big thing.
Do not be walking around on your phone.
Right.
Texting, whatever. Do not be digging through your purse. Do not be, oh, this is such a beautiful day. I'll just watch the birds and the trees and hey, why is that guy doing that? No, just no.
Right.
A lot of the things, especially us as women, a lot of the situations we find ourselves in, we can blame ourselves because we were not paying attention. We got distracted by the phone or distracted by our purse or whatever. You can't trust anyone. If you are outside your home, you are to be on red alert at all times.
Yep.
You just are. Those are the times we live in.
I think one of the phrases that drives me the most bonkers is anytime I read a story about somebody being attacked, there was almost always the phrase, they came out of nowhere.
They came out of nowhere. Oh my gosh. No, they didn't, hon.
Or are they on the USS Enterprise and suddenly beamed down? Is that how that works?
I know, right? It was the moron who's been following you for the past 3 miles and you just didn't pay attention. Duh.
Yeah, unfortunately. And you know, it's not something you're trained to do. It's not something growing up usually, because most of us were good people that you weren't really thinking about that. I grew up with older brothers, so listen, I was the most aware human being because I knew every step could mean you're getting knocked in the noggin with something.
You know, the other one that drives me insane is when you hear a woman say, I knew it didn't feel right, but I didn't want to hurt his feelings, so I got on the elevator. Or I kept doing what I was doing. It didn't feel right, but there is no but. You don't know that person. You owe them nothing.
Yeah, thank
What,
you.
why are you trying to spare the feelings of a complete stranger? If he's offended by you waiting for the next car, be offended. Have fun with that.
Yeah, don't be afraid to be rude, I think, is the thing I've been trying to, I try to instill in my wife and my daughter. And listen, you're right. You owe them nothing. What's the, Kevin DeBecker's book? I'm blanking. Gift of Fear?
Yes.
That one kind of goes into that whole thing, doesn't it? Is,
Yep.
hey, you ignore, I think he says 7 to 8 signs before things could happen. And you're like, oh, I never saw that coming. Yeah, you ignored
you
7
did.
or 8.
Exactly. Yeah, you did.
Right
Your
after they
body
beamed
did.
down.
Well, you have to practice too. A woman should practice like being loud, like stay back, and really show their point. Not be that little meek person, learn to vocally use your voice. And a lot of times that will scare people away.
That's awesome. I literally was teaching an all-women class not too long ago, and somebody spoke up like that, Marian. You're right, because she said, you know what, I'm tired of us feeling like we have to be meek. And she admitted to it. She said, listen, this is kind of how we were raised, is you don't rate. I was like, oh, that's, being a guy growing up, we were like, we were always making noise.
And we were always told to be quiet.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I actually had a class once where there were different scenarios set up, and it was an awareness type thing, and you didn't know what the scenario was going to be. And I was told to carry shopping bags, and I was walking to my car. And so I'm walking with these bags, and these 3 guys look at each other. They're in a group. They look at each other and they split up. And I'm kind of like, I went, and I am not a swearing person, like, at all. I do not. I just don't. And when they split up like that, I dropped my bags, I drew my firearm, and I yelled, "Get the F back, I'm armed." And every single one of them looked at me, and their eyes were huge. And they were like, it was so funny because they told me afterwards they were more afraid that I swore than that I drew a gun. They were like, wait a minute, did Candy just cuss?
Candy?
Did Candy cuss?
Hey, you reset that OODA loop for him, didn't you?
I know, right? It just totally blew their OODA loop, and they were like, wait a minute, she swore. Wait, hold up.
That's awesome.
Even the instructor looked at me and he was like, Candy, you can draw a gun, but you are not to swear.
But you know what, though? That is probably exactly how they saw that. Was like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that.
And it totally threw them off. I mean, it blew the scenario because it totally, like you said, it destroyed their OODA loop. They expected something from me. They did not expect that. And honestly, I didn't plan it. When they split up like that, it actually scared me. It truly scared me.
Right.
And I reacted instinctively. It was like, no, get away from me. And then even afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh, it was just a scenario. What the heck was I afraid of? But that just showed how realistic that was.
Yeah.
That command
Can you imagine?
presence.
Yeah. Can you imagine being a woman stuck in a situation like that?
We've done such a disservice to women in this world. That's sad. Crazy.
That's okay. We're making up for it.
Good.
One swear word at a time.
That's awesome. As opposed to Marian, who I've heard drop the F-bomb. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I've dropped it a few times.
Every time we hang up, what the F was he thinking? Why the F do I come back to this show every week? I know.
No, what the flip?
I love it. I love it. You know what? Kind of along those lines. I mean, seriously, I saw a stat on the, I think it was the World Health Organization. 1 in 3 women experience physical or sexual violence in their lifetime. That is insane. How is this acceptable? And how do people not feel that it's okay to teach women to be more aggressive and to be armed? And why are we teaching them still to be meek and you don't need a gun? And Jiminy Christmas, people, come on. Ugh, sorry.
We've run into cases. We have one one lady that she was robbed. Her house was robbed, and it was very eye-opening for her. And so that's how she kind of decided that she needed to learn how to shoot and get a gun.
Good for her. Because some people will be like, oh, it's not going to happen again, or it'll never happen here again, or to me.
I have a little tidbit.
Good.
For the month of April, this is from the NRA. Gun sales were 1.8 million, and they were up 71%.
Gee, I wonder why.
So that's my little tidbit for tonight.
I love it. I'd really love to see. Does it break it out male versus female?
No, done.
Oh, that's too bad. I really want to see if there's that much of an increase in women buying guns after all this.
They're saying that there is, but I've not seen any stats on that yet. Let's see. Let me just give the website for the Well-Armed Woman.
Okay.
It's twawshootingchapters.org. You can find a chapter near where you are. There's also a phone number, 888-560-5579. Our email is Summit County. I don't have my glasses. CTYOHTWAW@gmail.com.
Awesome. I'll put those in the show notes too, so if people want to refer back. Did you say MOUSE? What's wrong with you? Candy, you faded for some reason.
I'm back now.
There you go. Beautiful.
It's because I was laughing at the MOUSE.
Oh, yes. She's back there laughing at her own jokes. Nobody can even hear her.
I know,
Great.
right?
That's awesome. So let me.
I do that a lot. No.
So when you guys get back to normal meetings, when and where again?
Well,
if you're on a regular schedule, when and where?
Well, it's always the first Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
Last Tuesday we had a meeting down at Casey's because it was outdoors. So we'll probably do that in June again because it's better to meet outside. Pro-armament there, we're pretty cramped.
And we're inside. And that whole social distancing, it just can't happen there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we love Pro. We love our folks at Pro, but we've got to protect the ladies.
And they probably appreciate that too. You guys not being on top of each other, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Like you guys even think through protection that way. Bravo.
Ta-da!
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 Awesome. Well, ladies, thank you for all the information, and hopefully ladies and gentlemen will both listen to this, guys, because there's some great tips in here. And ladies, you've got some great resources through the website, and you have personal time that you can get in with the group and Summit, Stark, all over the place in Ohio. So there are no excuses. You have time and place to get to. So awesome. Ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate you spending time with me again this week, and I look forward to the shenanigans we'll get into next week.